Wilder Show podcast. I'm Scott. That's Lauren.
Yes, it is.
Aw. How are you today, Lauren?
I'm okay. I'm well. Yeah,
All right.
I'm well.
All right.
I'm good. Yes,
good.
I'm well. Thank you for asking.
Excellent. Wilder Show podcast drops Tuesdays and Fridays, 6 a.m. Central Time or before on Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeart, Amazon, YouTube, on the TikTok now and again. We're on Instagram as Wilder Show Pod. Email, if you want to email us here, is podcast@wildershow.com, or you can just engage, wherever you listen, the platform there. Comment there, give us a thumbs up, a comment, a question. We'll do mailbag at some point. Yeah, questions. That'd be good. Wherever you get your podcast, would you just like, rate, follow, subscribe, and share? I have a war question. We'll get to that. But first, you watching earthquakes?
It's pretty wild.
The other day, in a 24-hour period, I think of, is it the biblical? The earth groans, the birth pangs.
Yeah.
I think of it. Listen, in a 24-hour period, there were these, and many more, but these earthquakes. The Venezuela, which is called the doublet, it was a massive 7.2 that was followed seconds later by a 7.5.
Wow.
That happened at 15:05 Universal Time. 25 minutes later, in Japan, there was a 6.9 earthquake. There was the earthquake in California, a 5.6, Northern California. And then New Zealand was a 5.7. Brazil was a 5.4. Russia, there were two in Russia. Russia at a 5.8, and then also Russia at a 6.6. And that's just the ones that made the news. There were hundreds of smaller ones. They say
Yikes.
Smaller is like 4.0 to 5.5.
Yeah.
During this same 24-hour period, though, the Pacific Ring, they call it the Ring of Fire, Papua New Guinea, Philippines, Alaska. Anyway, just very strange to have all of that. And again, we'll get to the war in a second. There was Supreme Court decisions that were announced yesterday, handed down. They're wrapping up this term. The term wraps up next week, and there's still some big decisions that they're waiting for the Supreme Court to. They've already decided them. They're announcing them now, and some of them that we've been looking for are still out. Birthright citizenship case, which I think the president is going to lose.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I do.
Why do you think so?
The president won some immigration cases yesterday, the ones announced yesterday, too, actually. Because, I don't know, I think I have a sense that he's going to lose. I don't know anything about the law or any of that stuff. But that law initially it wasn't about if you come here on your own, you come here to have babies. Those babies are anchor babies then if you were here illegally, right? Mm-hmm. The intent originally was about the children of slaves.
Okay.
So if you've been brought here from another country, you're not a citizen.
Against your will.
That's right. Mm-hmm. You've been brought here and you are not a citizen. Your children that are born in this country, are they citizens?
Right.
And it was, yes, they are. They are citizens. That is birthright. If you are born here, you have a birthright to the citizenship for this country, which is vastly different from basically destination birthing. We got to hurry and get across the border, legal or otherwise, because if we can get in there and baby can be born, boom, citizenship.
It is. It's just so, initially, we might have known what the situation of the parents was based on what you said, what the original intent was. But was the condition of the parents' arrival in America, did it have anything to do with, was it written in
the reasoning
to it?
for
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's why I say I think he's going to lose.
Yeah.
Trans in sports. That's one that'll be announced next week. It's got to be announced next week, probably Tuesday. And then they're going to all run for their cars. Trans in sports. Can states keep sports with boys in boys sports and girls in girls sports? And there's also a mail-in ballot case. So all those will be announced in the next week. That's a pretty big week coming up.
It is.
Every time the Supreme Court has decisions they announce, there are some that are decided and announced, but they don't get any media coverage. And some of the ones announced next week will not get much airtime. One of the ones from last week that got some airtime, but you might not remember it, it was a 6-3 decision reinstating a murder conviction from 2017 of Pedro Hernandez for the abduction and killing of 6-year-old Eton Patz.
Which is a decades-old case.
Do you remember?
Right?
Do you remember that?
I do.
It was my mind. I was saying before we got on here, I think you and I remember things differently. I remember things based on how they feel, which is ridiculous. And you remember things more specifically, which is really interesting because your way of remembering things is much more traditionally a male way of thinking. And
tell me what you mean.
My way is well, we'll get to it in a second because I think this is going to play out.
Okay.
Eton Patz. For people who don't know, Eton Patz was a boy who disappeared in New York, and I won't give the date because that's what I'm going to ask you about. In New York, was famously the first person ever to be on what?
On a milk carton?
That's correct.
Wow. Okay.
He was the very first one. Missing children. It all gave birth ultimately to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children.
Okay.
But when is your sense of when that was? If you think about missing children on milk cartons, I had an idea of when I thought it was. What is your thought of when you think it was?
Well, I thank you for that hint. I don't know if that hint alone would have given this to me, but I'm thinking also that his case was the inspiration for. I mean, I'm sure we saw plenty of news stories and long form news stories, but also movies that were like fictional accounts of similar things. So I'm going to say 1970s. Late 1970s.
See, that's perfect. You're exactly right.
Oh, yeah?
He disappeared on May 25th, 1979.
Oh, wow.
That means that his picture was not on there. No children's pictures were on milk cartons before this time of year in 1979. I would have guessed earlier. I would have guessed.
You think that kids were on milk cartons before then?
No, I knew that he was the first one.
Yeah.
But in my emotional memory, I would have thought that I had ever seen that before I was 18. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. I feel like I saw that before I was that old.
Yeah.
Again, the very fact that you even explained how you this led to this, you're very logical in your memory of something. I might be logical in thinking through certain things, but in remembering things, I don't go, well, I remember that because that was when so-and-so was 5. And so that must have been in, 19 whatever.
I do remember things like that.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that is the way you remember things. My deal is, I don't know, it felt like it was mid-70s or whenever it was. Anyway, that was a case that was...
See, that's another thing. Can I just say something about that too? Sure. You said it felt like... And we say that a lot more now than we used to. We say, I feel like in place of what I think that I heard it and I noticed it for a long time. And now I find myself doing the same thing. And sometimes I'll stop myself and question myself. Like, why did I say it that way? What's the difference in this case between feeling and thinking? And if it's something I think, is there a reason I'm saying because obviously, I think if you're in conversation with someone, if you're talking about a strongly held belief and you say, I feel, doesn't it seem like maybe that you're expecting people to treat that with more gentleness and kindness than they would if you said, I think.
No. Oh, I think that is actually true. I believe that people say feel because this is my experience and my truth. And so I'm going to just tell you what I feel. And you can't argue with how I feel. I'm telling you how I feel. Yeah. If I tell you what I think, that tends to be fact-based, and you can argue the facts. Fact-based
or just more, if intellectual, obviously, which I would think means more open to debate. It's not. It might be a well-thought-out opinion, but one that you're not afraid to get a little pushback on and defend it.
It's all good.
But if it's your feelings, I don't want you to tell me my feelings are wrong.
No, it's true. It's true. I think we feel too much. A little war update. You know, we've been told the worst thing that could happen. What is that? What is the worst thing that Iran could gain access to? What is the worst thing? The reason why we're at war, and we have to make sure that what is the worst thing that could happen?
They could get a nuclear weapon.
Okay. But is it? Is that the worst thing?
Tell me what you're thinking.
The thing that would give them more power over their enemies or the world, is that what it is? Think about this for a second. What happens if they get a nuclear weapon? We're told that if they get a nuclear weapon, they're going to what?
Well, they'll use it.
On
us.
Or Israel, right?
Right.
Okay. Maybe. But if any country does that, what would be the result? Let's say you get your brand new nuclear weapon. You just came in.
Mm-hmm.
You had ordered it months ago. You picked out the colors and the trim, and it's finally here. You just got your nuclear weapon. And we've been told if they get a, they're going to use it. I mean, you think they're going to have a nuclear weapon and not use it? You really? Really? Okay. So let's play that out. Iran gets hold of the nuclear weapon. It just arrives at the dealership. They go and pick it up, drive it home, and then they unleash it on the U.S. They target. If you unleash it, you have to target someplace, right?
Right.
So you target, let's say the biggest city, let's say New York City. So you're going to target one place is going to be struck. Now what would happen? What would we do in response?
We'd strike back.
What would be the advantage to them? They just used their only nuclear weapon, or maybe they have 3, or maybe they have 5. But we have 5,000. Mm-hmm. I mean, literally, we have 5,400.
Certain doom.
Right. It's what they call mutually assured destruction,
mm-hmm.
right? MAD, mm-hmm. Mutually assured destruction. If they fire 1 or 2, as you said, we'd respond to that 1 or 2. How does that advantage them? Our total inventory on warheads, we have 5,044. That includes retired weapons. But active military stockpiles, we have 3,700 warheads. And actively deployed, meaning closer to over there, we have 1,700. There's a reason why nuclear countries don't attack other nuclear countries. Mm-hmm. Look at North Korea. They're nuclear. They're part of the nuclear club. There are 9. Maybe we'll look at that in a second. They have a dictator. They hate us. They haven't used their weapons because of MAD, because of mutually assured destruction. It's only mutually assured destruction if there is some parity in the number of weapons, mm-hmm. right? Mm-hmm. Both countries, and the example I gave before with Iran, both countries would not be destroyed. Only one would be destroyed.
Right.
It'd be Iran. It wouldn't be us. We'd have damage. We'd have lasting damage for decades, perhaps, in certain places. But we would not be destroyed. They would be destroyed. So if the new kid on the block has only 1 or 2, it is not likely they're going to use it as an offensive weapon. More likely they're going to be part of the club because they don't want to be attacked by other members of that club. And who are the members of that club? In fact, the only nuclear country that has used nuclear weapons on another country is us. The last time it happened, we dropped the Fat Man. That was the nickname, the Fat Man, on Nagasaki.
Yeah.
Which was days after having done it to Hiroshima. It was August 9th, 1945. That's how long it's been since a nuclear weapon was used as an offensive weapon. Mm-hmm. And at that time, we were the only country that had them. So since then, countries that have become nuclear powers or possessors, the United States, Russia, China, France, the UK, Pakistan, India, Israel, and North Korea. Okay? These nations have a combined stockpile of 12,000 nuclear warheads, which, of course, is enough to destroy everyone on the face of the earth. The majority of those, in fact, 90% of that total belong to Russia and the United States. I like the days when we were the only ones that had the nuclear weapons. I mean, the more countries that get them, there is a great risk that some country is going to go rogue using a nuclear weapon against us or another country. But if the past is any guide, countries don't generally get them to use them. They get them to protect themselves from even the hint of it happening against them.
Right.
They don't get them as a sword. They get them as a shield. Mm-hmm. Again, I don't want Iran to get a nuclear weapon. I don't want them to become the 10th nuclear power in the world. Once you go, you never go back. But I think all the talk and the fear language about Iran can never get a nuclear weapon should at least be tempered with the actual facts of who has them. Don't they also hate us? And what have they done with them for the decades we've not been the only nuclear power in the world? What have they done? Nothing. Mm-hmm. It has protected them from us doing something to them. Or in the case of Iran, perhaps of Israel doing something against Iran, or us doing something against Iran. So if Iran got a nuclear weapon and used that nuclear weapon on the U.S. or Israel, it damages that particular location. Well, as an example was New York City. But it will be met with a counterattack, and the damage that Iran would do would be limited to one place and the surrounding area. So devastating in tons of ways, psychologically damaging and distressing, but limited in impact in that it's not in the other parts of the country. And it's certainly not in other parts of the world. Those parts are not as impacted, and they would be out of weapons. So they would be done and they would be gone, and we would take care of that. Now, back to the original question. What is the worst thing that Iran could gain access to? What could do the most damage that could be used to bend other countries to Iran's will, that could be seen as a powerful weapon that Iran could use as a sword and not as a shield? It's actually the weapon that we gave them when we went there on the 28th of February. It is the Strait of Hormuz. That is a more powerful weapon than a nuclear bomb. And let me make the case. This is a weapon that is bending nuclear powers to their will and not putting them at risk of a nuclear response. They didn't have to develop it. It just came with the February 28th attack. A benefit to them for the war, something they couldn't have done likely before the war. And I think it's ironic. Using the fear of Iran continuing to enrich uranium and someday maybe developing a nuclear weapon that they might never deploy but could only use as a deterrent, something that might never happen, and if it did, perhaps only used as a shield, not as a sword. And if Iran were to use that one nuclear weapon to attack one particular location, it would be a one-time event and a one and only location, and then would also result in their destruction. How much more advantageous for them is it to just take the gift of the Strait of Hormuz, open it, charge tolls at the rate of about $250 million a week, and on occasion impact not just one city or one region or one country, but impact the entire world by shutting down the strait for either offensive or defensive reasons.
Wow.
I think the answer to the question, what is the worst thing that Iran could gain access to, is not the nuclear program. I think it is the stranglehold on the entire world that is the Strait of Hormuz. Oh, it is time for Scattershoot.
Let's go.
Wilder Show, Scattershoot. All right. I know there are a lot of things in the news, but nothing, globally, just world events.
Yeah.
That should have our attention, but nothing.
Devastating things, really.
Yeah, tough, really
Loss
tough
of
stuff.
life.
And big stuff. But nothing is more important than Taylor and Travis's wedding, which we think is going to come up to the Madison Square Garden, maybe on the 3rd of July. I really hope we find out soon.
You're obsessed with that.
Let me look
at the audience for a
just,
second. No, he is. You think I'm joking, but he is completely obsessed.
Well, let's define it, though. I'm not obsessed because I'm a huge Swiftie.
I think you
think I am? No, I really, I'm sort of obsessed with how people are obsessed with celebrity and how it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
I'm more interested in how people are obsessed with things that don't really ultimately matter. We give our lives to it. It eats up all of our time. We're cultists for these things, but the cult we're in, it's not really a cult. It's like, remember the old thing, it's not a gang, it's a club. It's not an obsession. I am an enthusiast.
Sure.
So
depends on what it is, of course.
Whether it's an obsession or it's you're an enthusiast depends on whether it's you or somebody else. Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's in the news. They say it's going to come up on the 3rd.
You're a
honestly,
Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce wedding enthusiast.
Let me just say this: I am obsessed with making fun of cultists.
That clears it up for me completely. I have some local news that I feel so out of the loop on this.
Yeah, what's that?
I remember hearing about, and now what was it, a year and a half or so ago, when we first heard that Universal Studios was going to build a theme park in Frisco.
Yeah.
And because I don't travel that way very often, I've been out of the loop.
Yeah.
If you'd asked me, when is it going to be open? Where are we on construction? If you'd asked me this last week or even just a couple of days ago, I would have said, I have no idea.
Yeah.
It could be, just a great big construction site still. And I, like I said, no idea at all.
But...
Well, it's going to open next week. It's opening on July 1st. And it's a little bit different than I even knew about. I'm kind of out of this demographic too.
Yeah.
Maybe if I had kids or grandkids who were in the 3 to 8 year old age range, I might have been more excited about this coming. I didn't know that this theme park was going to be aimed directly at that age, 3 to 8 year old kids and their families, but designed specifically for the likes and dislikes of 3 to 8 year old kids. You've heard about this?
Yeah, and it's gotten some pretty bad press.
It has.
I think that part of it is because of the facility itself, too much concrete, not enough greenery or whatever. But it also has to do with, people said it wasn't that entertaining. But let me defend it for a second. And again, I haven't gone. But I did see some women who were there with their kids who were that age.
Yeah.
And I think we're viewing whether it's good or not good on some standard outside of the 3 to 8 year old standard.
Yeah.
They actually made it. They said initially, this is not going to be Universal Orlando.
Right.
This is not going to be that. It's $500 million facility, but it's not going to be that. So don't come expecting, wild roller coasters and all kinds of, it's not going to be that at all. No thrill rides, not like that. This is really designed for kids 3 to 8. So if that's true, the only way really to get a sense for whether it meets a standard is to hear interviews, not with the parents even of 3 to 8 year olds.
Yeah.
Talk to the kids that are 7 years old with permission of adults and find out how they found it.
Yeah.
There are 9 different stations of things that are apparently important to kids.
There's a
river, a little floating thing.
There's a Shrek World sort of thing. They all have more clever names than this. Yeah. There's a Shrek Swamp, the Troll Fest, the Jurassic World Adventure Fest, which sounds, those
scary.
movies are kind of scary for 3 to 8 year olds. I mean, I guess
they're animated
they're
like stuffed people.
I don't know.
Stuffed,
but I guess hopefully it is age appropriate for that age. But yeah, the little areas.
I think that's the problem. It is very age appropriate, and it's being judged based on. Yeah, I went there, but we paid X, and all they did was walk around and walk near all the brightly colored things and the characters going back and forth.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah, but that's what 3 and 8 year olds like.
That is what they like, but I mean, a lot of the complaints are about a lack of greenery and a lack of color, and I mean, a lack of color even in
too much concrete.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's going to come over time. If they wanted to open it on time, maybe they could have delayed it for a month and they needed to bring in more stuff. I think that's going to all happen. Anytime you see an architect's rendering of what it's going to be careful, not to believe too much. I mean, you don't know exactly. The structures can be exactly what they design, but other stuff you don't know.
Yeah.
In the summertime in Texas, for example, lush greenery in July in Texas is not something you ever find.
It's hard to come by. Yeah.
So it's not really like that. And over time, it's going to be that way. But I think people like to complain about stuff. And the bottom line is I think it's being judged by people outside the target for whether it was really great. I would say first, don't talk to anybody that didn't go there with kids that are between 3 and 8. There's some parents, there are some adults who love to go to amusement parks. They love amusement parks. They're Disney adults or they're Six Flags adults. They love it.
Yeah.
This won't be a place for you.
No.
If you're a person who loves to go to the new things and see all the stuff,
well,
this is not gonna be a place for you.
And in defense of Disney adults, at least the rides there are sized for it. I mean, there are things for adults to do there, even if you don't have your kids.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
That is not true of a place like this.
This is not made for people outside of 3 to. It is made specifically for people to entertain people.
Yeah.
And cater to 3 to 8-year-olds. Also, their parents obviously have to be on the rides, but you know what I'm saying.
So you told me, I think it's $55.
I think I read that. Somebody was complaining. They were saying, if I wanted to spend $55, I could have done this, I could have done that. Okay, well, I don't know. You go check out the new thing if you got the money. And, hope it goes well. But don't go there. If you don't have kids that are 3 to 8 or taking your grandkids that are 3 to 8, I would say don't even go.
Yeah.
I mean, and then come out and complain about it.
It would be somebody, and you're right about this. I mean, since tweets have become news,
sure,
there is a certain, there's a propensity for certain people to try to be as outrageous as possible so that theirs might get pulled and put in a Dallas Morning News story about how ugly this place is. But it was compared to a maximum security prison. And when you do look at the pictures, it says, compared to a maximum security prison. And I do kind of wonder, and again, I've not been there, and maybe I'll go there someday, probably not anytime soon. But if I'm going to pay $55 for me to be there, and if the place cost $550 million, I want it to be safe, of course. Sure. All of those things are the priority. But it would also be nice if it had some color and some fun things to look at, and maybe it does. You said it was likened to a maximum security prison. Yeah.
I will say this. I do consider SpongeBob to be torture. So maybe.
How's your emotional intelligence?
You
know what emotional intelligence is?
Am I dumb emotionally?
What am I? Well, you think about it. One of my favorite usage of the words emotional intelligence. My daughter got a puppy about 4 years ago.
Okay.
And, before you've had a baby, having a puppy can sort of be like having a baby.
You think it is,
if you don't have that to compare it to yet, so you have all of the same frustration. Well, not the same frustrations, but you've got this little, literally a little animal with sharp teeth that is chewing on things, and you're trying to train it and teach it how to behave like something other than a puppy, and it's biting you and it's biting furniture. But my daughter called once she had closed herself in the bathroom just to get away from the puppy for a little while because he was overwhelming. And through her, I'm fairly certain she's not listening, but through her tears, she said he just has no emotional intelligence.
Funny.
Which of course
That's
he has.
funny.
I mean, a whole lot of the humans we know are very low in emotional, short on emotional intelligence. But I wonder, I do have a couple of signs that you are an emotionally intelligent person.
When she told you that, to let her know that you knew that feeling, you understood that feeling, did you tell her, I did the same thing when you were a pup?
No, I did not.
I locked myself in the restroom.
Yeah. But with the first one, and we're not talking about this now, I do remember seeing people with 2 kids thinking, what were you thinking?
Oh, it's good.
In the early days, just because it is so overwhelming.
What does that mean, emotionally intelligent?
It's about how you respond in relationships, how you, it deals with things like, whether or not you're a good listener, whether you're someone who jumps to, if you're maybe more defensive,
maybe I'm not as good as I thought I was.
It's not a quiz really, but I have 7 habits of emotionally intelligent people.
Okay.
We're only going to do 4 though, because I think 7 is way too many and would be very overwhelming.
Okay, go.
However, if you'd like to know what all 7 of them are,
go ahead.
Send an email to podcast@wildershow.com, and I'd be happy to send you all 7 of them. One of them is pausing before reacting. So if somebody tells you something, says something to you that you find maybe a little inflammatory.
Right.
How are you able to pause? Maybe make a more careful response than you might in the moment if you kind of fly off the handle, respond quickly.
Well, it's tough to answer this. And you know better than I is the answer to this. But I believe I was always blessed with a sharp tongue and a quick wit. So I didn't need to wait to know how I would respond to something. I didn't. The words were already. I didn't know they were put together. I was waiting for my turn to talk. Listening is more than waiting for your turn to talk. But I was listening and gathering information. But the words formed.
Let me ask you a question, though.
Yes.
Can both of those things be true?
What's that?
Can the response be swirling around in your head?
That's where I was going.
And you.
Yes. Yeah, I tell you, you still pause. Absolutely. I mean, cooler heads prevail and all that. Count to 10, count to 5, count to 3, whatever it is before you. I think sometimes I probably get impatient and think, why are we still talking about this? I thought we had solved this. But yeah, I probably do not make an A on that one. Next.
Well, and it's not, and this is not just for you. This is not accusatory at all. But if you're wondering, you might know what your response is right off the bat. You may have a gift for that those words are, that response is swirling around in your head. You really are listening, but you know exactly how you're going to respond. It might be good for the relationship or the conversation if you can take a beat and take a breath.
Absolutely true.
And maybe think about what will the tone of my voice be when I say this?
Correct.
What is the volume level of my voice when I make that response?
Okay.
So it can help in relationships because you can de-escalate a potential conflict just by the way you respond to something that's said to you. Identifying and naming emotions early. Most people have no idea that they've become angry or anxious or distant or resentful until they explode or shut down and, get silent or withdraw or act in a way that really is out of character for them because they don't even really know. They haven't taken the time to figure out how they feel about something. It can be as simple as just knowing that you're feeling overwhelmed and telling the person that you're talking to, I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed by all of this. I need a couple of minutes. Or being able to tell somebody that they hurt your feelings.
Yeah, that's hard to do.
To know that what you're feeling is hurt and then to be able to share that.
I one time said that to somebody. I said, that really hurts my feelings. And you know what they said?
What?
You have feelings? I wish I was making that up. I wish I were making that up.
Was it said just that quickly, too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't take a beat.
Uh-huh. Is that something they maybe learned from you? Is this someone?
There you go. It all comes back to me. There you go. It all comes back. Who's the great offender? Who's the great offender? If someone else offends you, it's that they learned that offense from you.
Oh, Scott, you just make it so easy. Okay. Are we ready? You can take that out.
No, I like it. It's all good. It's good. I see how quickly I was able to respond to that. Did you see how quickly I was able to respond to that?
You were very quick.
I didn't give you a beat.
You were.
I grabbed the reins and. Okay, what is number 3? Let's get through this. What is number 3?
Validating others. We've talked about this before.
I do that.
Yeah.
I validate others.
Yeah. Well,
I think you have to.
Okay.
You have to take care of people who take care of you. You have to validate. I hope you feel validated every time we do a podcast.
I do.
Because I don't just say those words. Yes, I think seeing one's self as being necessarily dependent on other people that make what you do or who you are even possible you have to.
It is a little bit more than that.
Yeah, of course.
It's okay. We've talked about this before, especially in terms of conversations with our adult children, but it could certainly be a conversation with anybody. If somebody is expressing to you something that is a really difficult situation for them, do you validate their feelings or do you really quickly jump in with either like you shouldn't feel that way, you're overreacting, or trying to help them fix it right away? Or do you actually let them finish what let them finish their thought. Let them take a beat.
It's not that I don't think I have maybe the answer to what they're wondering about, but I've not found that the best thing is when you tell someone else the answer. I've found that they need to discover that it is the answer for themselves.
Yeah.
And so I've said things like, tell me about, and they go through it, or have you ever thought about, or maybe what do you think are the options in dealing with that?
You might wait to start asking those questions until you found out for sure by asking them, are you looking for advice, or do you just want somebody to listen? In terms of this defensive-ness that a lot of people might respond with when they're criticized, it's not all, sometimes it's born of really, it's probably always born of very human emotions. If somebody criticizes you, you experience some embarrassment or shame or feeling like you're not enough or something like that can cause you to kind of respond really quickly.
Strike back.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it depends on what the criticism is. If the criticism is about a position that you've taken, that's one thing. If it's about, your looks or somebody in your family. It's delivered too,
for sure.
Something like that. That's real personal.
Well, one thing you could do is ask for a clarifying question.
Okay.
You still get to choose what you consider as constructive criticism. You don't have to take it all to heart, but the way you respond to it can certainly says more about you than it does about the person who's offered what might be unfair criticism.
Sure.
If you're curious about what they said, there might really be a lesson in it for you.
That's
there
true.
might be something that you can learn. And if you're a smart person, if you are an emotionally intelligent person, you want to learn from those things.
And if you'd like the entire list, the other 3 that you didn't mention, just podcast at wildershow.com.
That's right.
Okay.
One of the things we know about our president is he likes to have his name on things.
Yeah, he's a bit of a nut about that. I think part of it is he knows that later nobody else is going to want to do that. And I think it's like, I got to hurry up and slap it on everywhere. Just had it removed from the Kennedy Center.
Yeah, he did.
There's still a tarp that is over the front of the Kennedy Center.
Oh, really?
After they removed Donald J. Trump, John F. Kennedy, or what it's called, Kennedy, the Trump Kennedy Center, or whatever the wording was, they removed the Donald Trump part. But the tarp that would show you what the name is still up. They covered it up when they were removing stuff for construction purposes.
Okay.
But they never removed it to say, see, it's gone.
Do we know why?
No. It's still up, though.
Do we know for sure that it's gone?
I think the answer to that is yes. But it's not, odd.
There is one place, though, that he's having a really hard time getting his name. Newborn babies. The name Donald has reached its lowest point of popularity in U.S. history, and this is according. This is according to that data that the Social Security Administration collects. They received fewer than 400 Social Security card applications for baby Donalds last year, making Donald the nation's 690th most popular baby name.
690th?
690th. 690th. I probably have. My first boyfriend's name was Donald.
Oh, really?
My kindergarten boyfriend. Yeah. Donald Graham. I've forgotten so much, but I can picture that kid's face like it was yesterday.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny. Donald.
It was a much popular name when I was.
I have a brother named Don, but he's not a Donald.
He's not Donald?
No, he's Don. Just
Interesting.
Don. Yeah.
I know your
or
brother.
as we call him, Donnie B. His middle name is Bradley.
Okay.
Donnie B.
Why did your parents not? Is there a reason that they didn't use Donald and just?
I don't know the answer. I never asked. I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. Some people, you don't call him Bradley, or you don't name him Bradley. They name Brad. Don's name is Don Bradley.
Yeah. Was Bradley a family name?
I don't think so.
Just a name they liked.
Yeah. My middle name's a family name. I think my other brother's names, I don't think either one of them is a family name. And I don't think my sister, which is odd because both families were huge.
Yeah.
mean, 7 kids on one side and 5 on the other. And then they all had trillions of kids.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
The name Donald peaked in popularity in 1934 when more than 30,400 American babies received the name. It stayed within the top 100 names through 1990. And it's, in recent years has dropped and now is in the top 690 names.
I'm going to make a prediction.
Okay.
And we'll never know this.
Yeah.
Your little kindergarten boyfriend's name was Donald.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to predict that is a family name, and they gave your little kindergarten boyfriend the name Donald,
Grandpa's
which kept
name.
it alive.
When we were growing up and we had, friends who were the same age, for them to be a junior or a third. I know my parents had 2 girls, but if they'd had a boy, his name would have been the third, because my dad was a junior. My dad was a junior. That's interesting. And if I'd had a brother, he would have been the third.
Plus, we had Donald Hollingsworth.
We did Donald Hollingsworth.
Hollingsworth.
Yes, he was really
Diamonds, Daisies.
He was a good boyfriend.
Snowflakes, that girl.
Mm-hmm. When was the last time? Are there any other popular television characters that you can think of that are Donald. Or Don?
Don. There's got to be. The guy from the space thing with the warning Will Robinson.
Oh, and even that is from forever ago.
Yeah,
Lost in Space.
Don. One of the guys' name was Don.
Okay.
The young, good-looking, dark-haired guy that was always trying to get with the blonde.
Uh-huh.
Don something.
Not so much anymore, though.
What do you mean? His hair gray?
No, I mean we don't hear about. We don't.
Oh no, I see what you mean.
I can't think of any modern characters in
Donald
entertainment.
Donald Sutherland.
Yeah, but
one of the greatest actors ever.
He's passed away,
He's
right?
100. Yeah, he was 100 when he died.
So
or something.
Back in the 30s, he was born when it was still in the top 100 names.
Sure. Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I don't know. Names come and go.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a while before this thing turns around.
Though. Yeah. That is the Wilder Show podcast. Drops Tuesdays and Fridays, 6 a.m. Central Time or before on Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeart, Amazon, YouTube, on the TikTok now and again. On Instagram, you'll find us there on Wilder Show Pod. Email podcast@wildershow.com or just engage us wherever you listen on those platforms. Give us a thumbs up or a comment or a question for our future mailbag segment. Anyway, wherever you get your podcasts, like, rate, follow, subscribe, and share. And we thank you. And Lauren, thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll see you next time. do.